this is Nick from Breaker Press Games, and today we're going to talk about DCC as a campaign game. All right, so this episode is about dispelling a myth. One of the things that comes up on DCC Rocks on Facebook or the DCC Reddit page is people often ask, is DCC any good for campaigns? And it being a D20 system with experience points, it seems like a wild question to me, but there are reasons why people ask this question, and so we're gonna break that down. Now, before we get into it, if you find this video interesting, valuable, entertaining, any of the above, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. All of those things will result in the video being pushed to more people. So it is a super helpful thing, and it costs you nothing to do. If you like these videos, you can also support me on Patreon. This month's Patreon reward is Pervasive Corruption, which has rules for insidious luck and for famine, taint, and corruption. So all those things are, you can find out about it in the doobly-doo. Look down below. Or check out this video that I did on Pervasive Corruption. That's right here. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. First and foremost, breaking down why I think DCC is designed for campaign play. Number one, level advancement through experience points is covered 11 pages in. It is immediately after 0 level character creation and before all of the character classes. And why is it designed that way? Because the funnel adventure that a lot of people have heard about, the funnel adventure is designed to be part of character creation. The idea is you go through this, horrific experience as a 0 level peasant, and you walk away from it becoming the adventurer that you are meant to be. And so, you wouldn't design a game that way if you didn't expect that people were going to go from session to session to session, watching their characters level up, all the adventures they're going to go on, etc., etc. Number two, the relationship between spellcasters and their god or patron. So what am I talking about with this? Well, there are rules that specifically govern, how you deal with spellcasters and their gods and patrons. Clerics have something called disapproval. I'll link this video over here. Wizards have something called spellburn. And all of these things, a lot of the effects of these things that can happen with your wizards and clerics, they are long-term effects. You're not going to be able to cast this particular spell for a day or a week. Your wizard is going to go through some sort of hideous corruption. They mutate. And every time something goes horrifically wrong with one of their spells, it becomes worse and worse. And there's even a fantastic graphic that illustration that people show all the time of the 6 stages of a wizard throughout their life. Once again, these things would not exist if it wasn't presumed that you were going to go from adventure to adventure and you were going to experience this metamorphosis over time. It's a game that's designed for campaign play. Number 3, many unique elements of DCC, some of the things that you hear about like crit tables or mighty deeds for warriors. Once again, these things truly shine as you level up. And like layers of an onion, you actually peel back the layers as you level up, and you get to experience more powerful and interesting and dynamic effects as time goes on. So let's move on to number 4. Questing for the impossible. Now, this is a mantra that you hear all the time in the DCC community, and I even just did a video about it that you can check out right here. But what is questing for? What is the whole point? Well, if you need to remove a curse, if you need to track down a power or a spell, you're trying to improve one of your skills or proficiencies, you want to improve your ability scores, you are trying to do any number of things. Dungeon Crawl Classics, the whole point was to emulate Appendix N novels from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And, these were stories about epic adventures of people like Conan the Barbarian, Fafard and Grey Mouser, etc., etc. And in order to emulate these epic journeys and the quests that they go on, the whole idea is to design a game that can be serialized, but ultimately you are advancing the storylines of your characters. This is a campaign game. All right, so number 5. Similarly, the rules for finding new spells, summoning familiars, creating magic items, all of these cool rules that you can find in Dungeon Crawl Classics. When you start digging deeper into the rules and you read about these things, oftentimes there's components that you need to go on quests for in order to, create that magic item or find the spell book to be able to cast this spell that you've heard about but never actually seen in action, etc., etc. So once again, questing for the impossible. Quest for it. So my conclusion, despite the stories that you hear of wizards using spellburn to drain themselves down into these husks of human beings in order to cast some sort of epic spell that destroys an entire town, or the magnificent total party kill that happened at a convention, these stories, they kind of reinforce this idea that DCC is designed for one-shot play. But ultimately, when you are trying to have people experience all the DCC has to offer at a convention in a 4-hour time slot, you want to hit on a bunch of different things. And so you want people to experience spellburn. You want people to experience, luck and disapproval and all these things that are all these resources that normally you're going to need to manage over time in a campaign. But in a campaign setting, you want people to experience those things and you want them to have a fun, fast and furious and memorable time. And so that is part of why people have this myth that DCC isn't good for campaigns, because they assume that all the characters are going to die, but they're not. In fact, the whole idea is to have these long-term narratives as you go through all of these different experiences with your character. And yes, some of their friends will die. Many characters will die. But ultimately, those that survive have these epic tales about them. All right, there is one more thing that I wanted to say that reinforces this myth, but it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Is that Goodman Games are notorious for making these exceptional adventure modules that the early ones were designed to be played over 2 or 3 sessions, but as they saw that, the DCC road crew, they go out to conventions and to stores in order to spread the good word of DCC. And in order to be able to do that, you want to be able to do it in a 3 or 4 hour session. And so a lot of the adventures that Goodman Games designs, they are magnificent adventures, but they are designed for one-shot play. But Dungeon Crawl Classics, Goodman Games, they make a variety of campaign settings like Lankmar, Dying Earth, the Shutter Mountains, which is in the Chained Coffin, the Purple Planet. Now, a lot of these, they go in and out of print. The Purple Planet will be back in print sometime in the not too distant future. But the long and short of it is Goodman Games does support campaign play. They want you to play long, sprawling campaigns. They want you to invest in their worlds. And when you actually sit down with the DCC rulebook and you read the rules, you quickly discover this is a game designed for campaign play. In fact, I can tell you personally, I have run 5 campaigns. One of them was 23 or 24 sessions, and my current DCC campaign, the regular sessions, we are 42 sessions in, and that doesn't include Side Quest Sundays that happened here and there over last year. And so, ultimately, I think this campaign has had 50 sessions so far, and it's still going. So, that's what I have to say about campaigns. Yes, DCC is wonderful for campaigns, and that includes MCC and the upcoming XCC. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Thank you for supporting indie games and indie game designers. Here are a couple of messages from me. How would you like to get grimdark content sent to your mailbox every month? Become a noble patron on the Breaker Press Patreon, and you will get cool stuff like encounter pamphlets and class guides sent to your mailbox. It's $5 and above. Go check it out in the doobly-doo below. The Protectorate of Genuine is a spiritual journey for one PC and one judge, comparable to the Green Knight or Luke on Dagobah. It is available through the Breaker Press web store now, or you can encourage your FLGS to pre-order it wherever they acquire Goodman Games product.